The night Walter saw blood. Walter was 70 when he came to see me. Tall man, retired carpenter, hands like sandpaper from a lifetime of real work. He sat down, didn't smile, didn't shake hands. Just leaned in, looked at the floor and said, "I'm tired, document. Not just sleepy tired. Tired of waking up 3 times a night. Tired of not feeling in control." His wife had been sleeping in the guest room for months. Not because they were fighting, but because he flushed the toilet too many times after midnight. He thought it was just age. That every man had to live like this once he hit a certain number. Then one morning he saw blood. Just a drop floating there in the bowl. That's what brought him in. Not the discomfort. Not the frustration. Not even the fear of cancer. No, what finally broke him was realizing how far he had let it go without doing anything. Walter isn't unique. I've seen hundreds of men just like him. Smart, strong, proud, but quiet. Too quiet about the one thing they should be talking about. Their prostate. There's this myth that after 60, certain things are supposed to fall apart. You're supposed to pee more often. You're supposed to get up at night. You're supposed to feel a little less manly. But that's not true. That's just what happens when you let slow damage pile up. Your prostate is a small gland, but it can cause a big disruption if you ignore it. And the worst part? Most of the damage comes not from disease, but from the little things you do or don't do every day. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you take your power back. Because the truth is, there are things you can do, simple things, that protect your prostate and restore your peace of mind. And I don't mean pills. I'm talking about habits. Daily, natural, proven habits. Some of them are so basic you might laugh. But they work. I've seen it in the clinic, in blood tests, in ultrasounds, in the eyes of men who walk in slumped and walk out standing tall again. If you're over 60, or even if you're just getting close, this is the conversation you were never told to have, but you need now more than ever. Let's talk about the 5 things every man should do to protect his prostate, starting today. And I want to begin with something so simple. You probably haven't thought about it since childhood. Water. Drink water the right way, or your prostate will make you pay. Most men don't realize this, but the way you drink water can either protect your prostate, or irritate it until it starts acting like a ticking time bomb. No joke. I've seen men who thought they had an overactive bladder, an infection, even cancer. But all they really had was a bad hydration habit. Let me explain. As you age, your body's natural thirst mechanism weakens. You don't feel thirsty like you used to. You go through the day, maybe drink coffee in the morning, a soda at lunch, maybe a little water here and there. Then suddenly, around dinner or later, you feel parched. So you chug water. A lot of it. Too fast. Too late. And what happens? You wake up at 1 a.m., then 3 a.m., then 4:30. Your sleep is wrecked. You feel foggy, irritable, drained the next day. And you blame your bladder, or your prostate, or just getting old. But here's the truth. That pattern of late, rushed hydration leads to concentrated urine. And concentrated urine isn't just darker, it's harsher. It's acidic. It's full of irritants. And when it sits in the bladder, it creates inflammation. And guess what's right below the bladder? That's right, your prostate. Speech balloon, one man told me. I thought I had an infection. Document turned out I was just poisoning myself with my own pee. He wasn't being dramatic. The prostate doesn't like pressure. It doesn't like inflammation. And it definitely doesn't like being bathed in concentrated waste fluids every night. So here's what I tell my patients. Hydrate early. Sip slowly. Stop late. Simple rule. Drink most of your fluids between waking and mid-afternoon. After 6 or 7 p.m., start cutting back. Don't slam a glass of water at 9:30 just because you forgot all day. One study, a large one with over 2,000 men over 60, showed that adjusting hydration this way reduced nighttime urination by up to 41%. 41%. That's the difference between sleeping through the night and standing half asleep at the toilet 3 times before sunrise. And here's the best part. It costs nothing. It doesn't involve medicine. No side effects. Just a change in how and when you drink. Let's make it practical. When you wake up, drink a full glass of water. Mid-morning, another glass. With lunch, more. Then just sip in the afternoon. And ease up after dinner. If you're thirsty late, take a small sip, not a full bottle. Also, if your urine is dark yellow or has a strong smell, that's your body telling you it's struggling. Pale yellow, almost clear, that's what you want. Now let me share a quick story. I had a patient, let's call him Carl, 68 years old. Used to drink a liter of water every night while watching TV. He said it was his hydration ritual. But he was waking up 5 times a night. Couldn't sleep more than 90 minutes at a time. He thought he had prostate enlargement. Turned out his prostate was fine, just irritated and inflamed from the pressure. We switched his routine, same amount of water but spread from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Within 2 weeks he was sleeping 6 hours straight. By month 2 his energy was back. His mood was better. And most importantly, his fear of prostate issues went away. So if you've been thinking water doesn't matter, think again. Speech balloon, it's not how much you drink. It's when and how you do it, that makes all the difference. Now let's move to the next daily habit. It doesn't involve diet, supplements, or medications. Just your 2 feet. Let's talk about walking, and how 15 minutes a day can send oxygen straight to your prostate. A short walk after meals, a long life for your prostate. Some men think protecting the prostate means complicated diets or expensive supplements. But I'll tell you what I tell every patient of mine. Sometimes the most powerful change comes from your feet, not your wallet. Let me ask you something. After lunch or dinner, what do you usually do? Sit down? Watch TV? Check your phone? Maybe even take a nap? That small window after you eat, that's where most men go wrong. Because the human body wasn't designed to eat and collapse. It was designed to move. Now, I'm not talking about hitting the gym or running laps. I'm talking about something simple, gentle, free. Just walk. 10 to 15 minutes. Around the house. Down the driveway. Even in circles around the living room if it's cold outside. Speech balloon. One of my patients, Harold, 72, told me, "Doc, I walk around the kitchen island 6 times every night. My wife says I look crazy. But I haven't peed myself awake in 2 weeks." And he's right to be proud. Because walking after meals does 3 powerful things, especially for your prostate. First, it boosts blood flow to the pelvic area. After you eat, your blood is busy, digesting food, delivering nutrients. But if you stay sitting, circulation slows. That means your prostate doesn't get the oxygen or nutrients it needs to repair itself. Walking gently boosts circulation in the pelvic region, the area where your prostate lives. It's like sending a fresh supply truck to a tired, overworked outpost. It helps clear waste, reduce inflammation, and keep things moving down there. Second, it helps balance blood sugar. You may not know this, but high blood sugar is a silent enemy of the prostate. Men with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes often experience more severe urinary symptoms and faster prostate growth. Why? Because elevated sugar fuels systemic inflammation, and your prostate is especially sensitive to inflammation. By walking after meals, you reduce the post-meal glucose spike. You stabilize insulin, and that reduces pressure on your prostate over time. Third, it lowers systemic inflammation. Sitting after eating increases inflammatory markers. It's like telling your body, let's store fat, let's slow down, let's build tension. But when you walk, gently, consistently, your body activates anti-inflammatory pathways. You don't feel it right away. But over weeks and months, it adds up. One study out of Sao Paulo tracked men over 65 who walked just 15 minutes after lunch and dinner. They saw a 35% reduction in moderate to severe BPH symptoms. No pills. No surgery. Just footsteps. Speech balloon. Another patient of mine, George, 69, Used to say he was too tired to walk. Then I said this to him. George, you're not tired because you're old. You're tired because your body's trying to fight inflammation while you're lying on the couch. That got him moving. He started small, walking to the mailbox after dinner, then around the block. 2 months and he told me, Doc, I don't even nap anymore. And I sleep through the night. So here's what you do. After every major meal, lunch and dinner, stand up. Walk gently for 10 to 15 minutes. No need to sweat. No treadmill. No special clothes. Just movement. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't do it to build muscle. You do it to prevent long-term damage. Same thing here. Walking after meals isn't for weight loss. It's prostate care. Speech balloon, every step you take after eating is a step away from the urologist's office. So now let's talk about a habit most older men either ignore or feel embarrassed to discuss. But trust me, this next one might be the most natural, enjoyable, and underrated prostate protector of all. Regular intimacy, a natural cleanse for your prostate. This is the part where most men shift in their seats. Some glance at the door. Some clear their throats. And some flat out say, Doc, I'm too old for that stuff. But I'll tell you what I've told hundreds of men over the years. Sex isn't about age. It's about health. I'm not here to talk about romance or performance. This isn't about being some Casanova at 70. This is about something far simpler. Keeping your prostate clean. Naturally. Let me break it down. The prostate isn't just sitting there doing nothing. It produces fluid, part of your semen. And just like any gland, it builds up that fluid over time. When you're younger and more sexually active, that fluid gets released regularly. But as men age, intimacy often slows or stops. And that's when trouble begins. Speech balloon. One patient of mine, Tom, 66, came in with discomfort and mild pain. He'd been divorced for years, hadn't had sex or even masturbated in months. He was convinced something was wrong. His scans were clean, no signs of cancer, no infection. But his prostate was congested, swollen, tender. We talked openly. And I said, Tom, your prostate is a faucet. It was designed to run. When it doesn't, the pipes back up. He looked stunned. Then he smiled and said, Doc, you're telling me I need a release valve. Exactly. And science backs this up. A 20-year study, yes, 2 decades, by the Harvard School of Public Health followed over 10,000 men. They found that those who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. Not because they were young. Not because they were athletic. But because the act itself, ejaculation, helped flush the prostate. Removing dead cells, built up fluid, minor toxins. It's like a natural rinse cycle. Now you might be thinking, 21 times? At my age. Let me be clear, this isn't a prescription. It's not about a magic number. It's about consistency. Whether it's with your partner or solo, what matters is that it's regular. Not just once every few months when the stars align. I'm talking once a week, maybe twice. Something your body can count on. Speech balloon. Another patient, Ed, 71, told me, I thought I was done with all that. Didn't want to bother my wife. Felt guilty even thinking about it. But after I explained how it helps his prostate, he and his wife had a real talk. Now, they found a rhythm that works for them. And Ed's symptoms have calmed. Fewer urges. Less pressure. Better sleep. Intimacy isn't just physical. It's hormonal. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It boosts oxytocin, which soothes inflammation. It even improves blood flow to the pelvic region, helping all the muscles around the prostate relax and function better. So if you've been avoiding the topic, maybe because of shame or guilt or fear, I want you to hear this clearly. Speech balloon. Maintaining a sexual life isn't about ego. It's about keeping the engine running. And if you're struggling, low desire, performance issues, questions, talk to your doctor. There's no shame in asking. What's shameful is suffering in silence for no good reason. You don't have to be 25 to care for your prostate like a man. You just need to understand that nature gave you a built-in maintenance system. Use it. Now, let's talk about something you do every single day. Something that either helps your prostate or quietly fuels disease. Let's talk about food. Eat with intention. Your prostate is listening. Most men think of food as fuel. You eat when you're hungry. You eat what tastes good. You eat what's quick and easy. But after 60, that kind of autopilot eating can quietly hurt you, especially your prostate. You see, every single thing you put in your mouth becomes part of your body's internal chemistry. Some of it fights inflammation. Some of it causes it. And your prostate? It feels the effects more than you think. Let me start with a patient, Frank, 69. Worked hard his whole life. Didn't drink, didn't smoke. But his diet? Whatever my wife puts on the table, document. He came in with frequent urination, mild swelling, and some night discomfort. Nothing alarming, but enough to impact his life. We didn't jump to pills. We looked at his meals. Breakfast, bacon and eggs, white toast. Lunch, sandwich with processed meat. Dinner, meat and potatoes, sometimes pizza. And vegetables? Maybe on Sundays. No surprise, his prostate was inflamed, not cancerous but definitely angry. Here's what I told him and what I'll tell you. Speech balloon, you can't heal your prostate if every meal adds fuel to the fire. So what does cool the fire? Start with lycopene. It's a red pigment found in cooked tomatoes, watermelon, and guava. But it's not just color, it's a natural anti-inflammatory. Lycopene binds to prostate tissue and helps lower oxidative stress. A few servings a week, especially of cooked tomatoes, can make a real difference over time. I've seen men add tomato sauce to their meals just twice a week and see measurable improvements in PSA levels and urinary comfort. Then add zinc. Zinc is a trace mineral found in pumpkin seeds, cashews, almonds, and seafood. It supports hormone balance and keeps the structure of your prostate healthy. Not getting enough zinc is like trying to build a house with no nails. I tell my patients, grab a small handful of mixed nuts every afternoon. Or sprinkle pumpkin seeds on your salad or oatmeal. Simple and it adds up. Now, cruciferous vegetables. That's your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. They contain something called sulforaphane, which helps your body detox, removing potential cancer-promoting compounds before they do harm. They also balance estrogen, which matters even in older men. Speech balloon, one patient joked, "Doc, if you make me eat broccoli, I want a new doctor." I said, "You eat broccoli to avoid the kind of doctor who carries a scalpel." He laughed, and now he eats broccoli 3 times a week. Build vibrant, prostate-friendly meals. Cook tomatoes with olive oil. Leafy greens like spinach or kale. Lean proteins like grilled fish or chicken. Zinc-rich seeds or nuts. Cruciferous veggies on the side. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be intentional. And no, this doesn't mean you can never eat steak or enjoy a burger. But make those the exception, not the norm. Speech balloon, every bite is either a step toward inflammation or a step away from it. And that step, repeated daily, becomes the path your health follows. Frank? He changed his routine slowly. Added tomatoes, started snacking on seeds, swapped red meat for salmon twice a week. 3 months later, his symptoms were noticeably better. But more than that, he felt better. Lighter. More energy. Less bloated. He looked me in the eye and said, "I didn't know food could change how I pee." It can. And it does. So before we finish, there's one last habit we need to talk about. It's one most men ignore, even though they do it every night. And it might just be the most powerful of all. Let's talk about sleep, and why your prostate depends on it more than you think. Deep sleep, the silent defender of your prostate. Most men don't think of sleep as a medical treatment. They think of it as a break, a reset. Something you either get, or don't. But when it comes to your prostate, sleep isn't optional. It's essential. You see, your body has its own repair team. But it only clocks in at night, when you're truly asleep. Let me explain with a story. Carl, 74, came to see me for the third time in 2 months. Same issues: nighttime urination, low energy, mood swings. We tried dietary changes, mild exercise. He was even walking after dinner. But something wasn't clicking. So I asked, "Carl, how are you sleeping?" He looked tired, really tired. Maybe 4 hours. I wake up to pee. Then I can't get back to sleep. Now here's what most men don't realize. When sleep is broken, your hormones are broken too. At night, during deep sleep, your body produces melatonin and growth hormone. These two aren't just for rest. They fight inflammation, support tissue repair, and help your prostate recover from daily stress. But shallow sleep, interrupted sleep, that blocks the whole system. No melatonin surge. No repair. And worst of all, testosterone drops. Not a little. A lot. Testosterone isn't just about libido or muscle. It regulates prostate function. And when it falls too low, your prostate loses its balance, becoming more prone to inflammation and irregular growth. Speech Balloon, a major study, tracked over 2,400 men for nearly 10 years. Those with chronic sleep issues had twice the risk of aggressive prostate cancer. Not because of genetics, but because their bodies never got a chance to reset. I told Carl this and I could see it hit him. Not in a scary way, but in a wake-up call kind of way. So we made changes. No screen time after 9 p.m. No caffeine past noon. A dark, cool, quiet bedroom. Magnesium supplement with dinner. And a consistent bedtime, every night. It wasn't magic. It took weeks. But one morning he called my office and left a message. "Speech Balloon, Doc. I slept through the night. No bathroom break. No tossing. First time in 5 years. Thank you." And guess what? At his next checkup, his PSA was lower. His mood was better. His energy? But not because we added some fancy drug. Because we gave his body permission to heal, the way it's meant to. So if you're brushing off sleep like it's some luxury, think again. Speech Balloon, every hour of deep sleep is like a repair crew working quietly on your prostate, one cell at a time. Here's what I recommend. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Avoid heavy meals or alcohol before bed. Keep your room dark, quiet, and slightly cool. Use a sleep mask or white noise if needed. Give yourself permission to unwind. No news, no drama, no blue screens. It's not about being perfect. It's about creating a routine that your body can trust. Because your prostate, and your whole hormonal system, thrives on rhythm. And deep sleep? That's the drummer that sets the pace. Final thoughts: small habits, big future. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause for just a second. Not to think about your prostate, but to think about the life you want to live after 60. And whether your current habits are building it, or breaking it down. Because here's the truth most men don't hear enough. Speech Balloon, you're not old. You're just out of rhythm. And rhythm is something you can restore. One habit at a time. 5 small things. That's all we talked about. Drink water smartly, not just more but at the right times. Take a walk after meals. Let your blood carry healing where it's needed. Stay intimate, not for pride but for health. Eat like your body matters, because it does. Sleep deep, not just long but truly restful. These are not gimmicks, not pills, not shortcuts. They're slow medicine, rooted in how your body actually works. And when done together day after day, they create something powerful. Speech Balloon, a prostate that doesn't rule your life, and a body that still feels like your own. I've seen it happen. Not in perfect men, but in men who simply decided, enough is enough. So if you've been living with discomfort, waking up tired, running to the bathroom, shrinking from intimacy, this is your moment. Not to fix everything overnight, but to begin. And if this video helped you understand your body better, or reminded you that you're still in control, leave a comment. Ask your questions. Or just share what you're struggling with. You're not alone. And if you want to keep learning, not with fear, not with shame, but with facts, hit that subscribe button. I'll be here every week to walk beside you. Speech balloon, because after 60, it's not about adding more years to your life. It's about adding more life to your years. Take care. And take action. Gently, consistently, and like a man who knows his worth.